All right, so last week we did this video series on Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's a book by John Gray to help genders try to understand each other. And so we walked through the whole last week all the different types of love that each gender need to receive in order to appreciate the other gender. And so there's this disconnect where we're giving what we want to receive, but without regard for what the other person actually needs, and it's causing problems in relationships. So we walked through the fucking microscopic level, what's the each trait that what's each type of love that each gender wants to receive. And as I was doing this, I learned a lot. But I also realized that from a coach's perspective, this is great because you can drill down what problems people are bringing to you. But if you're just somebody in a relationship, you're just trying to have a good relationship, it's like you can't really use this in a practical level. So you got to take a step back and try to take a look at what is the practical information out of this whole, teaching. And so I was going to do this video where I was going to break this down and come up with my own insights. But you know what? It's funny because I listened deeper in the book over the weekend, and John Gray did it for me. He kind of broke it down. He said something that I think is really good. So what he said was, men and women need to do one thing better each in order to solve this problem. It's simple. What he says is that men need to do a better job of listening to women. We all know this, right? Like we can sense that this is an issue because, and really what that boils down to is just being present in the moment, right? If a woman's talking to you, and he says this in the book, he says, don't have your pre-assumed notions, just gather meaning from what she's actually saying. And this seems like common sense, right? We'd be like, yeah, dude, I already know how to do that. But what's funny is that, if being present in the moment were so easy, then basically every basketball player ever would make every single free throw. And that's not what happens, right? Because think about it, like you're on the court, this guy's lined up on either side, everybody's dead fucking silent, it's just you and the hoop, right? If you're fully fucking present, you shot a million free throws before, your mind's not going, you just be in the moment, you relax, boom, right? Every time. But that's not what happens. People miss free throws because our mind gets going, and it's hard. It's hard to be present. And so what we're saying is you need to be present in the moment when you're listening to your partner, fully fucking present, to get that one little thing, because it's not easy to say exactly what the thing is, right? And you need the feeling of understanding in order to have that connection where you can open up and trust the other person to be vulnerable, to help you solve the problem. And so you got to be fully fucking present for that process. And so what he's saying is men need to learn how to listen better. And so when I read through all the things that John Gray says women are looking for, he said, I had a little revelation or whatever. He says, caring, understanding, respect, devotion, validation, and reassurance. All these are types of love pertaining to her feelings. So when you think about John Gray saying that what men need to do is listen better, it's all about getting in touch with her feelings, okay? So at the deepest level of all this stuff, it's tapping into what's going on here with women. And that is a core existence level thing. I can't explain it. I don't fully know the significance of it despite having read all these books and spending all this time thinking about it. But there's something very raw and very true and very real about the way a woman is in touch with the earth, with her feelings and what she's experiencing going on in the inside. And that's very critical for us men to tap into and try to understand. Okay? So that's a takeaway here. Now, the other thing John Gray says is that women need to learn how to empower men better. Okay, and this is fucking true. This is huge. Okay, because and he said I relayed it several times in my videos over the last week, but he says it many times in the book. Is that women need to let men do shit on their own without the nagging, without the instructions, without the excess caring. Hey, did you remember your this and that and all this stuff? Like we need to do things of our own faculties and our own strength, on our own accord, to have a self-respect and to feel strong for ourselves and for the relationship. And He even tells a story about this in the book. He tells the story about a knight in shining armor. So the knight in shining armor goes and slays a dragon, rescues a princess, and now the knight and the princess are together. And he comes across another dragon later. And this time he's about to slay it with his sword, but the princess is like, wait, stop. Use this noose this time. It'll be safer. And here's how you use it. Here's the instructions A through Z. And she tells him how to do it. And so he throws the noose around the dragon. He actually kills it. And you didn't even have to get close to it. But and the dragon dies. Everybody rejoices. But at the end of the night, when it came to the time for the celebration, the knight didn't even feel like he did anything, because it was really through the strength of his woman that he accomplished the task. And so now he's a little bit less motivated. He doesn't polish his armor now, and now he has less gusto, and he comes across another dragon. And the way he ends the story in this book is that, like, he goes back to the sword this time, kills the dragon, and leaves the princess. But it illustrates a point, which is that we do need to go out into the world and use our own strength in the world. We need to learn how to lean on women, right? Because, I mean, we're not a one-man show. We know this, and women are smart. Women have traits that we don't have. Our partners have gifts that we don't have as men, and we need to learn how to rely on that, right? At the proper times. But at the same time, we can't have that, like that feeling of you're trying to change us. And he goes through this. He goes through this in the book. He says that, when you're trying to change us, we can sense that, and we can feel that you don't trust our own strength, and that's a problem for us. We need to feel trusted, and that you appreciate our characteristics and abilities. Okay? So women need to learn how to empower men better, and that's totally true. Now, here's the thing. This is why it's tough. Ladies, if you're with a guy who fucking sucks, he's a piece of shit, he's not doing anything in his life, you're not going to trust him. You're not going to give him the space that he needs to go out and do things in the world, right? Because you know that he's not doing his best. And that is a problem, right? So if you've chosen to be with somebody like this, you may need to get away from that in order to give, whoever you end up with, the space and the trust to go out and do shit on their own. And that kind of a person, right? Person who is wiser and doing things is going to ask you for help when they need it and really appreciate you for what you're doing, because they've been through the other thing where they got nagged all the time and etc., right? And he says in the book that, your inclination to do this, women, is from a place of caring, because that's how you guys support each other, but men work differently. And so this is a disconnect, right? So when you read through all the traits that a man is, or he's saying traits, when you read through all the things, the types of love that men are looking for, trust, acceptance, appreciation, admiration, approval, and encouragement, all of that relates to what he can do. What he can do. This is my own, judgment of the situation, right? So for women, it's all about what they're feeling and how men need to listen to that and get in tune with that. And for women, it's all about empowering men for what they can do. And I don't know why. We could probably take a step back further and try to, get in touch with that. Like, what is the significance of that? But that's the takeaway here for today. It's like for women, it's about what they're feeling. There's some kind of deep truth to that in reality that men need to get in touch with. And for women, it's empowering men for what they can do. What they can do. Whether it's go out into the world, bring home the bacon, or whatever. Protect the family, whatever. There's a primal fucking truth to this, which I don't fully understand at the moment. But that's what I hear. That's what I'm seeing as I'm going through all this material and bringing it to you guys. So yeah. So at the end of the day, you don't have to drill into all this stuff so deeply. But I think suffices to say, men, learn how to listen and be fully present with your female partners, and ladies, learn how to empower the men that you're with. And maybe a great way to do that would be to get a copy of this book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Read along if you want. Go through the book. Listen to the audiobook. That's what I'm doing. And I think that's what we got for today, guys. So appreciate y'all going through this book with us. And have a great Monday.